trying to pull their forces out of the Allied trap in western France today. Since yesterday afternoon, German infantry, armor, motor, transport, and horse-drawn equipment have been crowding the few remaining roads that lead out through the Falaise Gap. Something like 100,000 men and several hundred tanks are trying to get out. And all this time, during every hour of daylight, these choked roads have been bombed, machine-gunned, and hit by the rockets of all the medium and fighter bombers we could put into the air. Correspondents at the front have described the bombs cascading down from planes glistening in the sun. And the Germans' only protection has been the dust of their escape. The Germans indicate today that they not only have their 7th Army in this threatened area, but also their 5th. We don't know much about this 5th Army, except that it was raised in the West at the beginning of the war and then disbanded. Meanwhile, the gap through which the Germans are trying to escape is being narrowed down. The American column pushing north from Alençon is still operating behind a security curtain, but the Germans have made several admissions that reveal its progress. For one thing, the enemy says that it's pushed on several miles beyond Alençon toward Falaise. And another enemy report says that already Alençon is a base for strong concentrations not only of American armor and motorized equipment, but also of our infantry. There are now only about 30 miles of escape gap left for the Germans, and with this American strength in the area, we can be sure that it's in the process of being narrowed down right now. Up on the northern jaw of the trap, the Germans have been fighting desperately to prevent the British and Canadians from advancing on Falaise. So far, they've been successful, but they haven't been able to prevent our allies from cleaning out a German salient between the Orne and Blaise rivers. Here, British and Canadian and Polish forces now combined, and with German pockets cleared up, are putting on increasing pressure today. Although things are bad for the Germans, there's no sign yet that their withdrawal is a rout. Correspondents say that massed artillery and some tank formations are fighting determined rearguard actions, and that supplies for these troops continue to go in as the retreating columns seek a way out. Everywhere, the Germans seem to be fighting courageously. At the bottom of the bag, between Veal and